words of my mouth and the meditations of all our hearts be ever acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. Please be seated. So if you've been paying attention to the readings and the sermons for the last few weeks, you may have recalled that Susanna and Doreen both talked about how the readings have been these apocryphal or end times readings. And today we kind of conclude them because we're heading into Advent next Sunday. But every time they mention these are end time readings, I found myself singing to myself in my head, "It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it." I know you know the song. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. Cool, thank you. And I do feel fine. Because even though we're talking about endings, and of course the second reading was from Revelation, anything in there is end time. But endings aren't really endings when you think about them. They're mostly change, whether they're small or large, and they can be momentous, but it's all about change. Okay? And every change kind of has a prequel to it. Okay? And I love prequels. I love The Hobbit. You know, it's the prequel to The Lord of the Rings, books and movies. I love the X-Men origin movies because I like to know how the villains got that way. You know, I like them. On those few occasions when I have been told, okay, now tell us your life story. And most people would start with, I was born on a Friday, and I always start instead with, so my parents met on a blind date in Luxembourg, because the prequel is important. You need to know what came before if you're going to understand me. And our church is full of prequels. You know, prequels indicate that it's not an ending and a beginning, it's a cycle. And the kids know, you know, you guys are downstairs all the time, so you see that calendar, right? It's just one big circle, right? Yeah, it's a cycle. And so we have prequels within the church calendar for different things. So Advent is the prequel to Christmas, and it's my favorite prequel. Lent is not my favorite prequel. Advent is my favorite prequel. So it's telling us that something's coming up. Advent is coming up. And it does start next Sunday. And Advent can be a really, really busy time for most of us because it's that run up into Christmas. And so the prequel is while you're preparing, you're getting ready, you're getting some information for what's coming forward. And we all think of Advent, all of our preparations as, okay, who do I have to put on my Christmas list and where am I going? Have I made my travel plans? What do I need to cook? What presents do I need to buy? And it gets really busy. And I think we get lost in that preparation for Christmas, and we're not really thinking about what we're supposed to be preparing for. Because what we're truly supposed to be preparing for in Advent is the coming of Christ. And I know you're like, well, he's already here. Well, yeah, but it's a cycle. And so this is where we really think about bringing Christ into our hearts, bringing Christ into our homes. And Advent is when we're supposed to be preparing for that. Okay? So I want you to think of this week, the week before Advent. I know it's busy, it's Thanksgiving, but Thanksgiving is a great time to do this actually. I want you to think about what are you going to do to prepare for Advent. It's the prequel to the prequel this week. What are you going to do, not just who to buy for, where to go, what to cook, what are you going to do to prepare to bring Christ into your heart and home? Use this week to think about how you're going to do that during Advent. Carve yourself out during Advent some sacred time and space. Use this week to think about how you're going to do that, so that in the middle of all that hubbub about getting ready for Christmas, get yourself ready for Christ. Whether it's coming to the Wednesday evening hour-long sessions, whether it's doing something privately in your home, prepare this week for doing that consistently in Advent. And then you're really going to be ready for Christmas. And don't only think about about it as preparing to do this just as a run-up to Christmas, how can you continue that throughout the year and keep it going? Because the end of this time, launching into Advent, is not really an end, it's the beginning of something new, and you want to carry it forward. Does this make sense? Okay, good. Getting a few nods, so I feel good. So you do this, prepare your sacred space, and you know what? You'll feel fine.